Hi friends, I want to do a quick update. I always say quick update. It doesn't always be quick, but hopefully it'll be quick today. I shared on another video that I was taking individual minerals, and the reason I take them and then I don't is because when you take them and you get it wrong, or you take them and then you don't have the other minerals that you need to absorb it. So like vitamin D and calcium, you need the vitamin D to absorb the calcium. So if I take a calcium supplement and I don't take a vitamin D supplement, I cause problems for my body. So I get depleted of something else. So hopefully you can see that. See that ridge? That is while I was taking those liquid minerals. And I always can tell when I'm taking minerals or not taking minerals because I get rivets. Hopefully you can see those ones in my nail. And you can see there's little bumps. So I was taking minerals. Let's see. Then I went away for the weekend, didn't take them. There's a rivet there. Then I was taking them. Then I went away for the weekend there and didn't take them. So you can tell where I was and what I was doing by my nails. Because there's little ridges that happen when I take my minerals and I don't take my minerals. Like I said, I live in an area that's deserty. It doesn't have a lot of minerals in it. And so I don't live near the ocean. I don't get the iodine, the zinc, copper, all those things you would get eating a lot of seafood or from storms from the ocean. So I don't live near the ocean. So I've been taking iodine. I've been taking the NaC, which I've told you about in other videos. And then iron. Our area does not have any iron. I was talking to a lady who said that she sent in some water samples from our area to her son who works in Seattle water treatment or something. And he said, there's no minerals in your water. And I said, yeah, that explains it. Because when I lived on the East Coast, I had pretty strong nails. Now, I lived on the West Coast growing up, and we lived in a major city, and I think the water was filtered or at least chlorinated or something. So when I lived there, I had really weak nails growing up, and I would be able to bend them and peel them, and then I bit my nails for my childhood. I didn't always live there. We lived in Alaska and some other places, but when I was about 8 to 11, we lived down in a main city downtown, and I bit my nails significantly, especially during puberty. And then when I hit 12, we moved to a suburb, and the water came from a different source. It was like a mountain spring or something, and so I stopped biting my nails, like overnight. We moved. I drank water from the tap. That was mostly what we drank growing up. It wasn't a soda at the time. You know, we didn't have all the options that we have now. I drank water primarily. I've never done well with milk, so most of the time I would just drink water. And my nails got very strong, and I never had problems biting them. I never had problems with them chipping or peeling. They would get long. As you see, these are pretty long. But when we lived on the East Coast, they were fine. And then when we moved back to the West Coast, I started having ridges this way. I don't know if you can see them, but there's like ridges in the top of my nail. You can see them better right there. So there's, especially like here, you can see there's ridge. Sorry, my nails. I've been washing my hands a ton. I just was working in somebody's yard. Anyway, so there's all these little ridges in my nails. And then I would get cracks in the corners of my nails for years. And then I started taking the liquid minerals. Now I take them from a company called Marine Minerals, and I have also taken from a company fulvic acid minerals or something like that. They're both liquid minerals that you can purchase. I've bought them from the health food store. I've bought them online. I've bought them directly from companies. So I've tried lots of different brands. And I think the problem is I like the marine minerals. Actually, my body craves them. I add them to water all times. If I'm at a restaurant, I add it. If I drink bottled water, I add it. I think that's why most people swell when they're flying and traveling, because they're drinking filtered water and their body can't assimilate it. So it just swells and causes their feet and body to swell because they can't assimilate it because it has no minerals in it. So this is marine minerals. I'm trying to see the product. If you can see the product page, it's actually a very small header there. That's a little better. So anyway, I buy it from a company called Marine Minerals, and I buy the liquid minerals, and I add a couple drops to every water bottle that I drink. So I'm drinking a water bottle right now, and it has minerals in it. I bought a Gatorade because I was out working in somebody's yard, and I got really overheated and was getting a migraine from being dehydrated, so I drank a Gatorade, which is probably the worst thing I could have drunk, but I added minerals to it, and actually it tasted pretty good once I added minerals to it, just because I needed to put those back in my system because I was hot and sweaty. So I keep a bottle like this by my sink, and I keep a bottle in my purse, so whenever I'm out and about, and that's why I think I didn't swell when I was back Washington, D.C. and New York this last month, because I added it to everything. The one time I didn't at a restaurant, I forgot, I ended up starting to swell up. So I've talked about the minerals before, but I'm talking about minerals in general right today, and the vitamins, and so I wanted to share that information on this video because I've had a lot of people ask me about it, because I really think this is going to be the key to getting rid of the parasites, is having enough of the right minerals in the right concentration in your body. Adding them individually caused that massive dip and a bunch of ridges. I don't know if you can see the ridges. If I get close enough, maybe you can see there's a ton of ridges right where I was trying to take them. So what happened was I'm taking the liquid minerals thinking, because I'm doing a little bit of diabetic stuff, so I was like chromium and vanadium, but oh gosh, it just made everything else go whack because I didn't have the stuff I needed to absorb it. So you can see that rivet is huge where I took individual minerals and not a combination of minerals. So I'm back to just taking these, and I've been taking a combination supplement for diabetes that has a mixture of different herbs and has the chromium and vanadium in it in the right proportions. But as well as that, I'm taking a multivitamin. So right now I found these and I thought I'd try them. I don't really love them. It's just the Centrum Silver. I just grabbed it. It's a men's formula. It was like clearance, and I'm like, oh, let's try it. But for my kids, you always give your kids the best things. I bought prenatal vitamins. And so I know somebody who works at a porta-john kind of place, and they said when they're cleaning out the porta-johns, you wouldn't believe the amount of undigested vitamins that come through people's poop. So they have piles and piles of these kind of pills in the bottom of the poop when they close it out. So they're not being assimilated. They're not being broken down. You don't have if you live in an area like I do where there's no vitamins and no minerals in the thing, you don't have enough B vitamins. You need B vitamins to create hydrochloric acid in your system, in your gut, to break down the vitamins and then assimilate them. If you have you live in an area like I do that doesn't have those in the soil naturally, the food you eat is depleted of iron and zinc and iodine and vitamins. It's kind of an empty thing. I mean, yes, I'm sure you're getting some nutrient, but I don't think people were meant to live in the desert. And there's so many cities now in the deserts that I think people are just having these problems. And so this is the solution. Coffee grinder. So you take one of those multivitamins, you put it in the coffee grinder, you grind it up, and you get this powder. I have a coffee grinder in my little hutch in the corner, the lift up the lid hutch, and I pull it out. I just leave it plugged in all the time, and you grind up that, and I know it looks dirty because I had dark nuts in there, and now I've got lighter. So But so once it's ground up, your body can assimilate it better. So if you're going to take a multivitamin, I want a day, a prenatal, I talked to a woman this week, and she said, oh, she's got a newborn. And I said, well, you taking your prenatals? You need to keep taking them if you're breastfeeding or whatever. And she's like, oh, that always made me sick, so I never took them. But I was explaining to her the iodine situation in our soil and how we don't have any, and that the prenatals, you need to make sure your prenatal has iodine in it from all the studying that I've been doing. And so I suggested that she put it in the coffee grinder, and she's like, I could do that. So you don't really have to taste it. If you put it in the coffee grinder, and I just dump it into the lid, and then I just tap it into my mouth. I don't touch it to my mouth. I just tap it in, kind of hold it over my mouth and tap it in. And then I just drink a drink of water. So it's literally just powder that's going down my throat, and I'm not swishing it in my mouth and tasting it, because I don't like the taste of most vitamins or the pits that I've talked about before. So apricot pits. This is just the little jar that I keep, because the fresh ground pits have more nutrient in it, and they have B vitamins in them and other nutrients as well, depending on the pit. But so all pits have B vitamin in them that you can only get in pits. You can check out my blog about that, but it's 15 or 17. Anyway, so I just put a little teeny bit of a pit in, and I put it in the coffee grinder. I grind it up, and I just tap it in my mouth, and I swallow it as well. So that helps you get a B vitamin that you need in your diet, but you can only get from pits. And since our society doesn't eat a lot of pits and nuts, we don't get those. So grind up your multivitamin. Try and get one that has. The problem is, if you take a multivitamin, the iodine is in there and the vitamin C is in there, and they kind of nullify themselves, so it's kind of hard. But it's better to get it that way than not at all. So just go ahead and take your one a day prenatal that has iodine in it. And then I contacted the company today that I get my iron, or not today, this week, from the company that I get my iron from. Now, I tried vegetable iron from the health food store. It was like $25 a week. It did work, but it was very expensive. I do take a little bit of blackstrap molasses and get iron that way, but if you take too much of that, then you can get diarrhea because it is a sugar. And so I don't take very much of that, but I do take a little bit of that for the iron content in that. But I have taken this for years, and I've mentioned it on other videos. And if I take 2 of these, I feel so much better the next day. Like if I forget, I'm like, oh, I didn't take my iron. I'm just so tired. And it's all natural sources. You can, and it also has vitamin C, E, B6, B12, folic acid, manganese, and a proprietary blend. But these are all of the. So it has mineral salts in it: calcium phosphate, calcium sulfate, potassium, sodium chloride, sodium phosphate. So it has a lot of the minerals in it, but it also has some amino acids. It's all glycine. So and then it has a lot of herbs. So echinacea, raspberry, red raspberry, yellow dock. Anyway, it's got maybe 20. And it's got a little bit of the betaine hydrochloric acid in it to also help you, hydrochloride, to absorb it. So the company's number, it's called Spinal Touch Formula. I called the guy and said, do you want me to put it online? I think you would get some orders, but I don't want you to be overwhelmed. And he said no, but he's not a wholesaler. He can help you find out where you can buy it near you at health food stores or practitioners' offices, or I have to buy 6 bottles at a time in order to purchase it, so that I can get a discount. So I buy 6 of these at a time because I give them to my kids, and I take them every day. I usually take 2 of them every day. And I thought I was out. I literally have an empty bottle over there, and I haven't taken any for a couple days because I was waiting for it to come in the mail, and it hasn't come. I ordered it probably midweek. So I was digging for the mineral one of these that they have. They have one that's minerals, and I didn't realize I was out, and I should have ordered a bottle while I was on the phone with him. So I I've taken these so I took them for maybe 5 years, and then the people who I bought them from died. And my sister was still getting them somehow from a store up there near her. She lives hours away from me. But I wasn't getting them and wasn't taking them. And so I just ended up finding an empty bottle and peeling off the number and calling the guy. And he was having some phone issues, but he answered on the first call and ring, and was great, and took my order, and we visited for a while. He's a really nice guy. I've talked to him quite a while over the times that I've ordered. So I highly recommend this. I really love this product. There's a handful of things that I can't live without: thieves oil, colloidal silver, grapefruit seed extract, liquid minerals, and this is in the top 5 probably of my favorite things. So I really have used this for a lot of years, and I really love this product because it's inexpensive compared to the other iron sources, and it doesn't cause the constipation that a normal ferrous sulfate iron pill that you would get prescription or just purchase it would cause. That causes really bad constipation in a lot of people. And so this was, and I couldn't absorb it. I just didn't absorb it. So this has been my go-to. Very happy. Makes me feel good. So apricot pits or avocado pits or mango pits or any kind of pits. I crack open my plum pits and nectarine pits, and I eat them just like almonds. But don't take too many, just because they are pretty strong. So I just take a little bit every day, maybe 1 or 2 pits every day, and then grind them. I don't have to grind these because they're in a capsule. Let me open this new bottle. They're just capsules. It smells like herbs. So love these. Take these. NAC, still taking those. Feeling great. Taking those. I have been a little sluggish. I think it's the vitamin D. I was at the time I was taking all of it together, I was feeling super good, and I was doing all that stuff. I was taking a water soluble vitamin D, sublingual, just let it melt in your mouth and it goes in a tank. I ran out of that, started taking the oil vitamin C, the D. But if you look, my eyes are still super yellow. And so I think I'm not assimilating the vitamin D in the oil format. And so I also take a vitamin E that's water soluble. So I need to purchase more vitamin D that's water soluble, and I think that's really going to help me absorb it better. So I just wanted to share that with you, like the biting of the fingernails. So if you know somebody that bites their nails, that's a sign of mineral deficiency usually. If you know somebody that chews ice and has to chew on ice, like I have a couple friends that buy bags of bullet ice, those little pebble ice, and they chew on it all day long. That's a mineral deficiency. Typically, those are 2 signs of someone who's mineral deficient. Also, if you have ridges in your fingernails or ridges this way, like ridge lines this way or ridge lines this way, and I don't know if you can see again, there's tons of ridge lines in there because I was trying to take those other things and then I was on my trip. If I'm home, I sometimes forget. It just depends what my life's going, what's going on, and I've had that crazy time with daughters coming home from Japan and moving to college and one going out on a mission. So anyway, that was my thing. Let me see if there's anything else I have in here that I wanted to share. Nope, I think that was it. Just basically get a really good prenatal, make sure it has iron and iodine in it, and crush it before you eat it so you can assimilate it and absorb it. Otherwise, it might just be going through undigestible and coming out and not getting assimilated at all. So that was my suggestion. And I highly recommend some kind of liquid mineral that you can add to your water so you can help assimilate it. I know in our town they bleach the water, and if everybody's using the water at the same time, like getting ready for Sunday, church on Sunday or Saturday night, it smells like bleach and I don't want to drink it. So I would filter the water and then put the bleach in. Oh my gosh. I'd filter the water and then put some liquid minerals in. It just tastes kind of salty. It's on my fingers. So hopefully that was informative and helpful. Oh, the number. Sorry, I don't think I gave it to you. Spinal Touch formulas. 1-801-906-0287. And the guy is super friendly. He ships it within 2 days. He told me he would ship it out within 2 days, but I live in the middle of nowhere, so it will take a while for it to get to me from his shop, wherever that is. So anyway, check out my blog. I'm going to blog about this and take some close-up pictures of my fingernails and toenails showing the different ridges and rivets if I can, just because it's kind of interesting. Normally it's pretty flat, but since I've been messing with these things, you can tell when I stop taking. It's funny because my nails will be super long and really strong, and then there will be one ridge where I had a crazy week and I didn't take any minerals, and then there will be a ridge, and as soon as they all hit that level, literally most of these nails have broken in the last week. All of them are the same length, and that happens all the time because when I take the minerals, they're super strong and they'll grow long, and then when I miss it and that part grows out where I've missed it, they all are so weak in that one point that they all crack up, break off at that same time. So that was just something I wanted to share. So check that out. thesecretisgratitude.com, and have a blessed day. Thanks for watching.